Hello. Just checking everything's all right. Oh, Rob's honing in. Already blinking. It is recording, so that is good.
Hello.
It's a Rob.
Hey. Right.
Hey. Well, I got you on audio. And K-lum's coming in as well. And John got pretty much three of you in. All right.
How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Oh, we got a Rob.
Hey, there we are. Hello.
Got one video footage.
There we go.
And we have a K-lum.
I'm here.
Hello.
I've got to work out how to work this.
It gets some used to.
Yeah,
You're upside down.
But why not? I mean,
Well, we just got to wait for Will now, whenever the hell he decides to turn up. I mean, I can just stop this without him.
Do we know if Will's got internet?
Don't even know.
Because I knew he was
put something in the chat. I mean,
And everybody here, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, it's all good.
Welcome to
nice one.
Jake's Metal Chat.
Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining in. This is, for anyone who doesn't know who these guys are, there's Rob, there's K-lum, and there's John. Introduce yourselves to YouTube people.
Hello, how we doing?
Hello.
Just did my live stream with David Gregor of Modest Scold.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that.
Really nice bloke, I have to say. You appreciate that. There's us who support this scene, and
Yeah, definitely. It's always a nice surprise when people turn out to be like really genuinely nice dudes as well.
yeah, just generally, you just look very happy about it. And I mentioned you guys as well. I was like, oh yeah, support Modest Scold. If you ever come to the UK, yeah, go on,
Yeah.
do it.
Fair play to you, man. Interviewing Mortal Skull, absolute legend.
Yeah, I just got the idea from
Mate,
Cam from the Graw. He's a Canadian metalhead. He's working on a
nicely done. I saw the
death metal documentary called The Graw. Got all these different bands. I thought, because he asked me, oh, we got a will. YouTube, we have a will. Because I had to download my live stream because that's going on YouTube.
Oh, right, I can see all of you now.
This.
That's better.
That's why I'm saying hello, YouTube people. Will.
Hey.
There he is.
Will.
How can I just hide
This is
me?
Will, people.
Hey,
I think we've got a Will somewhere. We've got the voice of Will.
We got a Will.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can't see
Dude.
you though.
We can hear you. So,
I've literally just got my computer on. I've just moved it back here, so
I had to do that with my phone when I was doing the live stream. I had to keep moving it back just so I can get the TV in. Because it's like, people don't want to see my face. They also want to see David Gregor's face. Of course. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I hope I had it recorded because otherwise this would have been for nothing.
Yeah, no, we saw it.
Yeah, awesome.
I did anyway. Me and Claire.
So yeah, we're just gonna have a chat. I'll ask you some questions. Blah 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 blah. I know it's recording. I don't care, YouTube. So let me ask you all this. What made you want to do this band, Rob? Is this your creation or is this John's creation? Whose creation is this?
So it's all John's. I can't take any credit for this.
John, then, what made you want to start this band?
Well, I had a death metal band already before coming to the UK, so I wanted to give continuity to some project that was already kind of pre-existing, but I didn't know anybody here. I was brand new as a human in a different country, so it took me quite some time to find people. And yeah, I was just lucky enough to find Rob, Will, K-lum to join the project. They liked the songs. Yeah, and it worked out, as you can see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We're in quite a good position really, because like all of the kind of material was all kind of come up with John. We already had a band ready to walk into, so as soon as I kind of found it, it was nice to have it already set up. You know, kind of not about kind of writing songs because it's all written and it's all great. So
it's
always
good that
a
already
good
had the
couple
music.
of years, you know, before you can get writing materials. Like, so yeah,
Yeah, it's nice not having to sort of catch up on the creative process like that as well. Like,
Yeah,
it's not like, oh shit, we need more songs, guys.
let's get
We
some
just
more
got to
bands
catch
on
up
there.
with John most of the time. Like,
Yeah, that's great. Well, because like saying John already had the band and one of the members, and then you got members, and you just hit the metal scene like, I don't know, like a tidal wave or something. Because the album is brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely fantastic. Because obviously I was at the album launch. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, that was a great night as well.
it really
Yeah.
was. As well as all these guys being in the same band, they all have other bands. Because Will is in another band called Body Harvest, and K-lum is Voluntas, which are
Yeah.
also a great band. They're all great bands, and those two have played Bloodstock. So if you have been to Bloodstock, great. If you haven't, and you're outside the UK and you want to go somewhere, come to Bloodstock. Obviously not this year because of this stupid pandemic, which I was talking to David Gregor about, and he's like,
Yeah.
Not much going on at the minute. You know, it's probably not worth the trek right now for the field.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a bit empty, I think.
Probably got to feel closer, you know.
We might go and camp there anyway.
Yeah, we'll just count as like, let's get some, let's get some beers, let's get some music on,
Have our own socially distant Bloodstock.
You just get like people just spaced down 2 meters apart. It's like, yeah, man.
Like some non-contact pits or something like that.
Yeah, non-contact. It's like put those like Nerf like giant balls on them, and then they just bounce off.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Was it Zorbing or something like that?
Sorbs,
giant inflatable
that's why I said Nerf balls. You know, like you get Nerf guns and all that. Someone gets too close, get a Nerf gun, back off.
Might be something that we experiment with.
I'll just go on stage like you come if you're going to stage dive. Don't go on there. Don't trash their pedals. Don't trash them.
Dave Dudley just do a crash mat or something.
Right. Yeah, because you guys have been playing a lot of gigs. Wow, a lot really.
Yeah, I mean, we hope that we'd be playing more. We had a quite a decent kind of schedule come up for this year. I mean, I even bought, like, for the first time in my life, an actual diary so I could sort of keep a central like account of all the gigs, and I've just thrown it in the bin now because it's all just like.
So what's the point, right? And then you probably think, oh look, gigs are starting up again.
Yeah.
That's my diary.
The good news is we're starting to get some more again now. I mean, they're kind of planned for November onwards, so that's
good
hopefully.
news.
I mean, touch wood, all the rest of it. I don't want to jinx it, but the calendar's starting again now, which is nice.
Yeah, that's the thing, people. We don't want to jinx things, otherwise we're all just going to be like, well, that's just a bit rubbish. Oh, look, the gig's going to happen. Oh, it's not happening now.
I think even tonight we was meant to be in Newport. But, so it's never nice seeing that pop up on your Facebook events and being like, oh, tonight you're in Newport. No, maybe not.
Yeah.
So we're Newport. Oh, crap, we're not. So, being in this band, obviously you all have like different influences. With your influences, did you all put like your own influences into this band, or was it all just you all had the same one and you just got it from there?
Well, there's a general theme about the band of sort of visually and stuff, but it's of an old school horror film sort of vibe. And that's been something that we just everyone said, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like, it's a good view. I don't really know what I'm saying. But,
Never run out of material.
Yeah, that's like the typical like thing. Well, I don't want to say typical, but it's like horror films.
It's a classic,
It's a classic thing to have. Because you go back to like all the old school death metal bands, they all had
of course.
With horror films. Like if you hear early death stuff, like one of their songs with Gurgitated Guts, that's from just a scene from City of the Living Dead, which is a Joe Fulci film, where a woman's just.
And of course, at this time as well, they were just sort of coming out. It was that kind of golden era when death metal.
Like, because I was talking to David Gregor about it and talking about like Cam Lee and him starting in what death was called. They were called Mantas beforehand.
Yeah,
and he was kind of doing that, all the death metal vocals, and then all of a sudden had Massacre, and I don't know what he was doing in between that, and then so Massacre came back together, and there you go, Massacre just like boom, and then Death and Cannibal Corpse and Morbid Angel, even though they're around the same time as Death. Possessed, which people argue like, who's the first death metal band, Possessed or Death?
Yeah,
like I don't expect you guys
keep
to answer
arguing about that. I think. Well, I don't know. There's different opinions, but if you just go time-wise, of what band actually did the first official recording as something actually signed on a label, not just played in the garage of your mom, like an official recording out there with death metal, you know, alive and kicking. That was 7 Churches of Possessed. So people can continue arguing whatever they want, but I think the very first band of death metal, and actually, funny enough, that's been acknowledged by Schuldiner himself, like the other side of the
he always
story.
said, you know, he always,
once Schuldiner say, no, Becerra was the actual creator of death metal, I think the whole discussion should be over, but people will keep forever saying, no.
They're still going to argue. Like, no, it's death. No, it's possessed. No, it's this band. No, it's this band. No.
Guys, I think it was more just a case of thrash bands trying to be heavier. And
that happens,
and bringing more of that kind of macabre influence into it as well.
It's like, I think, you know, when death metal really started sounding like death metal, we got Morbid Angel and shit like that. You know, there's no blast beats or like really guttural vocals or anything like that in the early death or possessed stuff. So, and those are really key parts of now death metal.
Yeah,
definitely.
And then again, like you've got the kind of the more sort of British scene rather than the American as well. It's like if you listen to Bolt Thrower, which are going to be one of the kind of like pioneers, especially
them earlier, actually.
There's no blast beats at all, so it's like
Bolt Thrower is definitely a more of a, I guess, a doomy inspired.
Yeah, sort of grindy.
That's what I would say as well.
Gritty.
Yeah, that's what I would say as well. They got that
doom, more punk, really,
they got that doom sound. Like, if you listen to their very first album, everyone's saying is Realm of Chaos. It's not Realm of Chaos. That's the first one released on Earache. The one we released before that was In Battle There Is No Law, which is very grindy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Realm of Chaos, and then War Master, and a Fourth Crusade, which is my favourite. That's my favourite one.
Fourth Crusade.
One of those bands that was just consistently great the whole time, a lot of them as well. Like,
would you say that's an influence of the band as well? Or?
For me, at least, yeah.
Yeah, like individually.
No, not for the songwriting.
Not for the songwriting, but I just mean music, not one of those types.
Yeah, I mean, my gear is actually entirely based on Joe Bench's rig from Bolt Thrower. Like, I've got the PVT Max with the Fathead distortion pedal, going through a BC Rich. So I'll try to kind of recreate it as much as I can, because it's one of those times
you can recreate their sound at all, because they just had that. They just don't know, fiddle around with some pedals and all.
I just looked it up one day, just on a whim. Yeah, and I found that this is actually not an expensive pedal, and it's not a very expensive amp. It's a
really simple, cheap setup, to be fair, for a good metal bass sound. It sounds, you know, it is miles better than your old sound. Like,
I mean, I had one because it worked, and I still got it. Like, I'll probably use it as a backup or something like that sometimes. But
that's the thing. Your current rig isn't actually I wouldn't say it's any more premium than your old rig. It's just more suited.
It's older, more vintage, I guess.
Yeah, you know, it's got the natural sort of clipping sound rather than.
Yeah, there's a tube section in it as well, which is nice.
Yeah, of course. Well, like I said, done a lot of gigs and played a lot of places. Has there been any gigs that were like, okay, this is a bit weird?
I can think of it.
Not weird. I mean, you've seen Griffin gigs. Griffin gigs get pretty fucking weird sometimes. I mean, you know, come on, and those are our best friends.
Our friends are just getting hot and sweaty in this room, which we all would be if there were still gigs going on
in this living room.
I'm just getting warm, just sitting there because I had to close the windows because there's cars coming by my house.
I think we had a gig in Swansea that probably all of us thought at some point, what are we doing even coming here? Because that was the hell of a night. And it was raining torrentially all the way through, and that's a massive drive going across Newport. And I thought at some point, okay, I'm just gonna die, you know, crashing on a wall or drowned tonight.
It absolutely
was insane. And eventually we made it to Swansea, wondering, is there anybody going to be even attending this concert here in the middle of nowhere, like in a really remote place?
The rain was absolutely beautiful.
Eventually it was really good fun, and to my surprise, there was a fair amount of public actually attending the gig. It wasn't the best ever. I'm not gonna lie, but it was fun. It was interesting, to say the least. Most definitely the type of downy cliquey environment you will imagine in Wales, you know, like a really remote town. But it was fun, you know.
It was slightly different to a lot of our gigs as well, because it wasn't kind of paid entry. It was kind of free entry, and the bar was right in front of the stage. So if someone wanted to drink, they had no choice but to listen to us. And it's like, usually it's kind of, you know, pay a ticket.
You hear a band, you're like, oh, I don't like this band. Oh, crap, that bar.
Like a one-man kind of Viking metal project, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, was doing like a video
covers,
game soundtracks.
Oh, yeah, video
game
game
covers. Name was.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it, man. When that's that game. That's when you start to get
it's cool. It's cool.
I find there's quite a thing in Wales, actually, of sort of one-man bands. So I know of 3 off the top of my head, of like people who live in the kind of more remote bits. Or maybe there's kind of, there must be like a shortage of, actually, no, 4 I can think of.
I forgot that.
Musicians around, yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, you got quite a lot of one-man bands coming through that.
Yeah, I think just loads of people do one-man bands because they can't seem to find the members.
So much easier, isn't it? Yeah.
But like, except for you guys, you found members who love the same music. You love the music.
Yeah, just bring along a backing track and just go along with it.
Just get on with it. And when you're like I said, I love the album. It's brilliant. Best, one of my favourites of this year, I have to say.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man.
You're welcome. I'm not just saying that to kiss your ass.
We'll talk about the fee later. But
it's like okay then. But yeah, how long was that recording process? Because usually albums take a long time to record, and how long did it take to record every instrument?
Trying to think, really. It must have been about 8 months or something like that, because we had a bit of a gap in between kind of finishing the tracking, finishing the mixing, and then kind of
it was more of a back and forth process, because the recording itself didn't take that long. Most of the songs were done in one go on the guitar.
Drums were done in 2 days.
Yeah, drums were done really quickly.
The drums took a bit longer. Obviously, Will took several goes to finish on the drums and actually be happy with the take. It was more a case of going back to the studio to tweak around the mixing and the master and things. None of us were particularly happy with the results, so it was a case of going back, see how can we improve, whatever. But the recording itself was actually not that long.
It was a pretty smooth process.
Yeah.
Because we did it in weekends as well, so it's hard to kind of, you have a weekend here and then a couple of, if we did it all in one go, I reckon maybe
a couple of weeks.
2 or 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
If any,
if we camped in the studio, like.
Yeah, because
I'll say, even if it was a bit of a nightmare, it was absolutely nowhere near as bad as doing parasitic slavery with the body.
Yeah, I guess that
was that production hell.
So long. It was ridiculous. So I learned from that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you learn from each recording.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I did, obviously, the Herbicidal album, we didn't have like a proper studio or anything. We did it at RS. Did the music there in 5 hours or something, and then me and Leon did the vocals in on 2 different days. Like spaced out between a week, I think.
The vocals I found a bit kind of difficult to do, because I just usually try and do it in a day of mixing as well. But I was always finding that not having all that kind of noise behind you is so much more difficult to do vocals. And like when your throat feels too dry or something like that, it's like if you try and do it anyway, you're just not going to get the results that you want. So I had to kind of wait until I feel like I can really do it today, and then just kind of I pretty much smashed that in one evening. Like do it that's like with triple takes and stuff like that. But it's like, right, I'm in the mode now. I've got to get it done.
It's like, oh, my throat's not good. Just hit record.
There was actually a couple of old tracks which I listened to back, and I just thought, no, this is not good enough. So kind of, I'm glad I redid them in the end, because they just sounded really dry and kind of hoarse. And
so I listened back on the Herbicidal album. I'm like, wow, that sounds really good. Oh, that scream sounded a bit like my throat was just about to die. But then it was all right after I started doing it. So it was like,
it's always when you stop and then you listen to it back and you think, oh, I wish I'd have done that properly. And wish I'd just done one more take on that.
I think that's the thing with most bands. You just they listen back at like, I don't know, the very first album. Like if Morbid Angel went back to the very first album, they had to listen to it and be like, wow, David's vocals were this style, because he was more like on a high, like not high, like sort of raspy. Because what I found out was one interview, he used to smoke a lot, and that's why his voice sounded like that on records. but then they did Blessed of the Sick, and it just got a bit more. Well, I don't want to say lower, but it was getting to that stage. So I'm thinking, don't smoke and do vocals at the same time. But if you smoke and do vocals, like, how do you not? I'm just thinking, if you do that, how are you not out of breath? You know?
Yeah.
Like, because you guys do a lot of different things as well. Like when you, because what did most of you do for work if you're still working now?
I got furloughed, unfortunately.
Oh, you got furloughed,
I kind of
Rob, which
slightly enjoying the time off, really.
Yeah,
it's been a really weird experience for me to get into.
I'm a support worker.
Support worker. Oh, is that supporting?
Yeah, John's been absolutely grafting this whole time. So
is that supporting kids, adults, or
adults, vulnerable adults learning?
Oh, that's really good. No, that's good. I think like when you hear, like you ask a metalhead what they do, and they say like, John, for example, like a support worker, and they do something like that. I think that's really cool as well.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks metalheads are these nasty, hairy people who are just angry all the time and don't like other people. That's not the case. I see a nice, like, cute little kid, and I'm like, you know?
I'm not saying about animals or anything like that. If you saw kind of, you know, the Rob that's on the stage interacting with a cat or something like that.
It's like, we will destroy you all. How you doing? That's what I was like. I was just like at the end of my gig, it's like, thank you for coming. How you doing? I'm just hot and sweaty because most gig venues, gig venues, you just like the Griffin. It's just warm because there's no air conditioning.
Yeah.
I've never been to a venue where it's been air conditioned.
I don't think I've been to either play or see one that's been air conditioned.
I have. It was in France, though. You don't get that shit over here. It's nice abroad, but
it's just like, you're going to play gigs in the hot and sweaty atmosphere. Oh, crap. Okay.
Oh, God. It reminds me of seeing Undergang last year with Twister, and that was the hottest gig I've ever been to. That was like, I nearly passed out, like, kind of 2/3 of the way through Undergang.
I was just like trying to film one of the songs, and I was just like, I'm stuck in the pit area. I'm going to die if I stay anywhere near here.
I think we had all the fans on that night as well.
As much as I love the exchange and playing it gets really, really hot.
Does get hot.
Actually, during the summer. Yeah. Always during the summer. No.
Yeah. At the Melt of the Masters we did the final. I did two shows. The first one was all right. It was hot. It was sweaty. The last show, I mean, like, firstly the kit fell apart because everyone had been playing on it. It had Alex on the kit and fucking so I kind of had to play. I just remember, like, the first song, all my stuff was falling over. And then I was just like, I can barely hold on to my sticks because my hands are so sweaty. Like, it was fucking madness.
Well, yeah, most gig venues, like I said, they don't do air conditioning. You might as well just get a fan and just stick it there. But then the only problem with that is you're just going to get warm air blown around, and that's the Griffin's a great pub. Yeah, you blow a fan around. It's like, well, I'm just getting hot air.
Circulating hot air, yeah.
Just like
I was thinking of getting a little clip-on fan for my snare drum. Put it there. Just like,
why not? Yeah.
You're just doing your blast beats in like body harvest. You do more blast beats there. Here, not very many. But if you're still hitting it, it's just you're going to see the fan just popping up and down. Like, well, we all love our death metal and metal in general. If there's a band you ever want to not rehearse with, what am I talking about? Ever go on tour with, who would it be? Like,
I think for us, it would be Morbid Angel. I think just because it's
Morbid Angel, definitely.
It's I don't want to speak for John. I feel like it's a huge influence. It's definitely for my playing style in this band. Like, I take a lot from like the early Pete Sandoval stuff. But
I'm trying to think of bands that are still going.
Bands that are still going.
Well, I think I agree with Morbid Angel because it's big enough to attract a lot of public, but at the same time, it's a band that is close enough to the audience to kind of be cool to gig with, if you see what I mean. I saw Morbid Angel in the beer cellar, and just by chance, walking out to call a taxi, I ended up stumbling on Treas Actot, and mate, it's the most down-to-earth man on earth. It was really funny to talk with, really nice dude. And this is the thing. I mean, it's a sort of band. It really feels like it would be great to gig with, just because they're really down to earth, and at the same time they are big. They have a lot of experience. They have a lot of history behind, and they're definitely an influence for the band. So yeah, Morbid Angel will be one of them. Maybe Suffocation also. Like,
yeah, I can actually picture that you guys with Morbid Angel or Suffocation or both bands on the same bill. That'd be that'd be like this. Ticket sales would go wild.
I think maybe we just fit on an old school lineup.
I would agree with that.
It's the sound of the band, really.
Yeah, because I would agree with that, because you're very old school sounding.
Yeah.
School death metal.
But any kind of old school death metal band, I think, you know, even like Grave, you know, like a more kind of more primitive, like in terms of like drumming, more just not really that fast.
No.
But or like Sinister, another one.
Sinister, yeah. I've seen those guys live.
Pretty much anyone who was Sublime Terror Fest, I think, this year had like a really kind of decent lineup. We could have full of bands that we'd totally jump on tour with, you know, if ever they asked us. But
I even think like Separation would be a good another a local band. Separation, us and Separation, I think would fit well together, because they're doing it similar to what we're doing, but more thrash.
Yeah, they're more on the thrash, death
side. Desecration as well, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I can really just picture you with any of those bands, really, because you fit.
Yeah,
Ours are very similar. And you guys have been around for a long time. Not long time, not like the bands we just talked about.
A couple of years anyway. Yeah, I mean, active for a couple of years, I guess.
Well, a couple of years. They've been around for like 20 plus years. A lot of them.
I think me and John have been jamming for like since 2016, I think, or 2017, was it?
2017.
I think I joined in late 2017. Yeah.
2017. That was when I met Will, and probably when we booked the first rehearsal at RS Studios.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a proving ground, I guess, especially for Will, coming from a big band like Body Harvest, suddenly listening to some poor recording sessions, poorly recorded and just uploaded on SoundCloud or something. I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was SoundCloud. I remember listening to it. I thought, though,
to suddenly listen to that is, what am I even doing? And, you know, fair play to Will, he gave it a go and was happy with it, and the result was...
And lo and behold,
it reminded me a lot of early Sepultura, actually, like Beneath the Remains, The Rise. I don't know if that's really an influence, but like I heard a lot, especially in the Scorched Promised Land songs. I think more so those than the new stuff that is going to be coming out.
Man,
stuff's all hint there.
Stop it! Don't tell me. Don't tell my viewers. Keep it to yourselves.
Spoiler alert.
You can just tell me.
You can tell us.
You can already hear the demos, so it kind of gives.
Yeah, we released a demo not too long back, didn't we? It was,
Well, obviously we're in a lockdown, so there's not much we can do. Gigs-wise, everything has been cancelled, other than the fact that recently, happily, our PR has done the hell of a job. And beautifully, we're sort of back on track with some dates. Everything is still subject to speculation. Anything can happen, but the thing we can carry on doing is definitely writing songs and working from home.
Yeah, you got all the time to do it. You're stuck
that's
home.
it. So the cogs of the clock must definitely keep moving. And there's stuff coming. That's what I can say.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're all stuck in this lockdown. How's everyone coping with that? What are your coping mechanisms besides writing music?
I really miss rehearsals.
And also I was going to ask it as well onto that question. What are you missing? You're missing rehearsals. Is there anything else you're missing? Like getting together with mates and
the Griffin, of course.
The Griffin,
obviously, you know.
Well, I guess sharing is the side of it that's so completely out of the equation now. I can play from home and have fun with it, but, you know, being on the stage, nothing beats the contact with the people, with the crowd, you know, actually sharing it, actually seeing the people having a good time and going nuts and moshing, you know, that to me is the source of the story, you know, that's
As a front as well, I kind of like, there's the vocals and the bass, but like interacting with the crowd is like one of the three you know, the only three parts of it really. The kind of getting that feedback.
Those
and
parts
like,
are playing live,
playing live,
having a good time. You know, interacting with the crowd.
Yeah.
Because that's what basically, like in a metal band, you, like in death metal, always interacting with the crowd. It's like, are you enjoying yourselves? Yeah. Why will you go nuts? Get a pit going. Like, yeah.
Even I think like a couple of times before, like, how can I not try and repeat myself?
Yeah. Do you always find you always repeat what you're saying, like, to the crowd?
Sometimes your mind just goes blank, and then you just kind of come out with a stock one. But I try to be a bit
Come
more
on, Rob. Don't be modest. You are witty.
Yeah, Rob. You sometimes. Yeah, Rob says all sorts of people. He sometimes says, "Almighty Odin, please bring it down upon us." Maybe
I haven't done it yet where I've got the wrong name of the town or forgot what it was. I was about to say it.
Still got that one to come, yeah.
So
wait until you are in Europe.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I won't be able to pronounce that.
No, you just go to Europe and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, hello, London."
Just have a look at my airplane luggage tag and be like,
if I like just go with you guys on tour, like you go, "Hello, London." Rob, it's not London.
Someone's gonna have to like stand at the front of the sign, like.
Rob, you get around it, just say Bristol, no matter where you are. You know.
Like,
hello, Griffin.
Yeah, hello, Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin.
Rob,
to get where it is,
you're at the garage in London.
Griffin.
Like you just say because I keep thinking someone just go to a different venue, just play that venue, and you say the wrong venue name. Like if you go to London and you say you're playing at the Underworld, but you accidentally call it Boston Music Room. Hello, Boston Music Room. Oh, no.
I'll just say England just to be on the safe side.
Just check the venue beforehand, basically.
Know the venues beforehand, bands. If you are bands, know the venues. If not, then
don't get drunk.
And don't get drunk. Which I can't really speak for all of us because we're all equally bad.
Well, maybe afterwards.
Maybe afterwards, not during, just afterwards. We're just like, yeah, let's get some drinks in. I regret every decision I have ever made when it comes to drink. And I asked like David and all. I asked Dave earlier about his favourite drinks. Actually, what do you like drinking the most? I know some of you like drinking cider and ales and.
Usually, I'm a massive beer fiend, which is part of the reason why I went to the Griffin in the first place, being a real ale pub. But I can't drink beer at the moment because I'm on a special. I've got special nutritional needs at the moment because I'm on a keto diet. So no, it's all just white rum.
You want nutritional needs, folks? Go Rob.
It's working at least, so at least I'll be able to get a beer back. But
just start at the moment.
Yeah, massively on the white rum though lately.
Oh, nice.
Kind of like the change, really.
I've been drinking gin as well. K-lum, well, John, your favourite preferred drink?
I have my favourite beer with me, so I'm going to get it.
Oh, cool. Well, you two,
are we getting paid for
his
this?
favourite beer. Still got 3 of them. Will might
just a plug for
like this.
Like a pitch for a sponsorship deal. Like,
so like this, we'll just be like, here's our
favourite.
I'm actually drinking Magners now, which is not my favorite drink. It's just refreshing.
That's all right, though.
I started drinking because
a bit of cider.
As musicians, metalheads, we all like to drink beer and all that, and we've got our favourite beers. Also, I've been drinking the Thatcher's Cloudy Lemon cider that they released. It's actually
I tried the I do like Thatcher's.
It's actually really refreshing. Because I didn't want to drink my stouts because one's like 12.5. It's like, well, of course, when you're on tour and you're on gigs, you're like, oh, drinks, let's get the drinks in. And
what have you got then, Will? Are you going to do the sales pitch to camera? Is that Leffer?
There we go. Belgium. Best beer. I fucking love this shit.
It's probably one of the best, Belgian beers. Greenbergen. That is
one of the best ones you can get here anyway. Like,
it's nice out of a bottle, but you can't be having it on tap in Belgium. That's definitely the best.
Yeah, in Belgium, it's definitely more the thing to have it in bottles because there's more kind of controllable, like, you know exactly what you're getting. Because
actually, my local has Greenbergen on the draft, which is unbelievable. It's the first time I see it. I think it's the only local in Bristol that has Greenbergen. Is it a stout? No, it's not a stout. Well, it's like a dark beer, like some kind of nice frothy bitter, and it's sort of sweet, but it's not sickly, so it's just beautiful. Yeah. And we're in a lockdown, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Because all in lockdown, do you find it hard not to have a beer all the time because you're just drinking all the time? You're bored and it's like, oh, okay, I'm bored. I need a drink.
Most evenings, to be fair, yeah.
I've had to limit myself to have at least a few nights off.
Yeah, I do that.
I have 10 weeks, but I'd say I've pretty much drank every day.
Yeah, I pretty much have like I have like 2 or 3 days off, and then I start again, like on the Friday or something. That's the thing, people. You know, I'm talking to the YouTube crowd now. Well, here's the thing: we all stuck indoors. You're drinking. Limit yourselves.
What else does that do? You know?
Limit yourselves. For crying out loud. Go out for exercise. Just
apart from like practicing our instruments or anything like that.
We can't.
I mean, I just
can't
wait
really do much. That's the thing.
If I just see it, you know, wait till the evening, wait till you've got everything done with your day.
Yeah,
have beer and chill out. I mean, I haven't got a job. It's not like anything fucking to do.
The sun does kind of call for it, man. Like, especially a cider or something fruity, you know, like it's, you know, if you don't have much to be getting on with, then it's a perfect way to spend a sunny day.
Yeah.
You know, fall asleep by sort of 8 o'clock, you know.
It starts to feel like the worst, like, school summer holiday ever.
Yeah.
You got all this time with nothing to do. And
nothing to do. And, well, because they're thinking about bringing kids back to school, like, start of June. What's your thoughts on that? What's your thought on what's going on at the moment with the lockdown and what being said?
An announcement
but
today.
It's all a bit random, isn't it? It's all a bit of a shambles. I don't think anybody knows exactly what the limits are. It's more like
it seems to be following more the sort of public mood rather than what's actually kind of.
I think it's more a case of following your own common sense, and it's kind of down to the individual responsibility of people as adults rather than any guidelines from the government. The government is just a bunch of dickheads, to be honest. At this stage, it's just people being sensible rather than any guidelines.
Yeah.
You don't get people who are sensible. They just think, oh yeah, we can go out and socialize with people. And I've seen videos of people in big crowds.
Mate, it's insane.
What are you doing?
Have you gone to the Downs or I don't know, or Crusoe for that matter? It's all heaving. It's hectic. It's all families doing picnics and whatnot. And you know, fair play, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But I got the feeling that sooner or later we're just all going back to square one.
Especially with people like yourself being on the front line of it as well. Like,
I do just think that it's kind of half the problem is that not a lot of our country has any faith in our government to do anything.
No, not at all.
No, I think that's anywhere though.
I think specifically,
I don't have faith in this.
Badly we've handled. I say we've handled it. I think, you know, if it was down to most people, things would have been handled very differently. But,
yeah, I have to agree on that. Well, once this lockdown does end, that's going to be my other question. What are you guys going to be doing when this lockdown ends? Are you going to go out anywhere?
Gigging hard, definitely.
Yeah, that's basically my plan. I'll just join. If you guys are like, oh yeah, we're here. Oh, good. Guess where I am? I'm at the bar.
Yeah, just get back to gigging. I think get back to like start working again.
Make up for all this lost time we've had, basically.
That's why I've come back to Bristol now.
There's a lot of things that I was meant to do my theory test as well for my driving, but then that got cancelled. I was like,
oh shit.
Once that starts up again, I'm starting it again.
Finding the best way to help the venues as well. I mean, this lockdown
has
affected everybody.
The venues
around venues and pubs and, you know, concert halls and whatever probably have suffered more than anybody else. So,
because
you know, I guess it's a case of making this the most reciprocal as possible. Bands will benefit of people coming back to the stages and the other way around. And happily venues will get back on track without shutting down, because the situation is pretty catastrophic at the moment. I don't know how many venues have. I would like to think not many. Happily our local, the Griffon, I touch wood, be back on track. But I think we will all should chip in and, you know, and support the local
scene. From what I've heard, the Music Venues Trust has done quite a lot of good work in stopping these places from going out of business. But
because it's the thing with music venues, they get a lot of like money from people coming to the gigs, and that's what
and it's just like
the venue open.
It's the only thing, isn't it? Yeah, definitely.
Because if like when it does all start up again, obviously they're going to have to like start back from like square one to get more gigs back up and running and everything.
Yeah,
I think people are going to want it enough for it to.
Anyway,
if it was something that only like 10 people like, but this is like not just talking about metal here, like pretty much everyone.
Well, anything. This show you can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Any live music or live events in general.
Live events, just
it's
anything.
Entertainment, so people are going to want that. I think some places are sadly going to go under, but I mean, there's only so much that people can do whilst no one's learning.
Yeah.
It's just the reality at the moment that all these gig venues are not getting any bands coming in. There's no people coming in. There's no one going into the pub area in their venue and nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And that's what I'm missing at the moment. And I think you guys would agree that we're all missing gigs at the moment. We're all missing just going out, seeing bands, seeing mates, talking absolute rubbish. Well, since my show, you can talk about anything. It doesn't have necessarily be metal or anything that's close to metal. Is there any books you like to read? Like Lovecraft?
I'm not a big reader, really. I think... John, you're quite a reader, aren't you?
John, do you like any Lovecraft stuff like that?
Well, at the moment I'm reading Wolfen by Stryber. I think it's the author. It's actually a 70s classic that inspired a film. And before that, I read Pet Sematary by Stephen King. And on the queue, I've got some bizarre book about the history of the Anglo-Saxons and the War of Gold by Julius Caesar. And some more shit. I mean, I've got the really bad habit of reading like 3 or 4 books at once, which means
I can't even do that.
Which means eventually I read nothing, but I try to catch up with all of them. But I do read a lot of books, especially horrors. I like history.
I got H.P. Lovecraft at the moment.
Lovecraft. Poe, I guess.
Oh, no, I got 2 big books. One's all Lovecraft stories because I finished At the Mountains of Madness, which is a long story if you're going to read it, people. I'm going to start From Beyond and Rats in the Wall.
Yeah. From Beyond.
And all these stories are from the like 20s and 30s, these stories.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff I like is from that era. But
the whole cosmogony of Morbid Angel, like Cthulhu and all these myths and beasts and monsters and whatever is actually
a lot of metal bands, not just death metal bands, influenced by Lovecraft in one way or another. Like you hear Massacres from Beyond.
Yeah.
That's just like, wow, it's Cam Lee because he's a massive fan of
Yeah, but even the artwork.
He just puts that in there, and he's got a band called The Grotesquerie, which is nothing but Lovecraft.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that you got all that mixture of different influences.
Yeah, all this inspiration. Anything that's a horror is good for us.
Or
classics. Films.
Sometimes I've seen about war, like Boltford, for example. All their thing was war.
Yeah. Endless supply of lyrical content as well.
Yeah, you just look at it as like one of their songs is actually called "This Time It's War" from the Fourth Crusade. I was like, sorry, are you declaring war on us or what? And speaking of Boltford, I was actually listening to an interview from Joe from Boltford, and I've never actually seen an interview of Joe ever speaking.
Very rarely interviewed.
Yeah, she was being interviewed in like Belgium or something, and they were talking about because it's when War Master was coming out, and I thought, I've never heard Joe speak.
Yeah,
I know what she sounds like, and I was like, cool. She has done interviews, but never any way you saw on camera talking. It's like, okay, I can hear her voice now.
Well, they definitely seem the kind of discreet, low-profile band, and I have a lot of respect for that. They focus on the music. They deliver good albums. Album after album, they consistently give good music without going into gossiping and bullshit of any sort. It's just all about the music. So I have a lot of respect for them in that.
I have a lot of respect for Boltford because, well, they're a great band for starts. Well, I'm mentioning Jo again. She's a great bass player, definitely.
Yeah.
And also, this is another thing I really enjoy about Boltford, and I don't know if you ever thought about doing this. They manage themselves. They used to manage themselves and book all their own tours and stuff.
Yeah, which totally goes with their kind of philosophy as well. Of their kind
have you ever
doing
stopped?
exactly
Are
what
you
they
thinking
want.
of doing that? When
And if
there's
people like it, then they do. If they don't, then they'll still keep doing it.
Are you thinking of doing that, like managing yourselves and booking gigs, or have you got someone doing that for you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Okay,
my
losing camera
finger.
difficulties with K-lum.
God.
Yeah.
There he is.
Sorry,
There he is. It's fine. It's fine, people. Don't worry. Don't click off this video. I've lost viewers. Never mind. Yeah, and well, the reason I started doing this video, I think I already mentioned it, but I'll just mention it again, just in case anyone is wondering. Cam from the Graw, because I think Will came in a bit after I mentioned it.
Yeah.
He's doing a death metal documentary, and he's interviewed like bands like Mortician, Incantation, Immolation.
Nice.
He interviewed Cam Lee. Well, yes, to him it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. To me, it was like 7 o'clock in the evening in Canada, 1 o'clock here. It was a long interview because they were talking about not just metal like we're talking about, but also horror films and other things. Because he's a big horror fan. They're both big horror fans. Like, cool, we should have something like this, but we're talking horror, nothing but horror, nothing.
Oh no, guys, we're missing the Machine Head acoustic live stream.
Oh
no! Oh, I was going to watch that as well.
Damn it!
Oh well.
So sad.
Too late now. We're committed now. It's okay, Jake. We won't leave. Don't worry.
Well, if you want to go watch it, you're more welcome.
I think I'm right.
All right, no, I'm committed. It's fine.
It's cool.
This time I
got reminded. I didn't see that. I was looking at all the messages I was getting from the David Gregor live stream. And
yeah, he just popped up.
Oh, you're not watching the Insomnium live stream? Oh, damn, I forgot.
There have been some really good ones, actually, yeah.
Because I did
definitely.
a Central Media live stream. It was Isolation Fest. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. You know,
No, I didn't catch that one, no.
Oh, they had Insomnium. They had a German band which was called... I'm trying to remember the band now. German band, death metal band. They had Lucifer, which had Nick from Entomb playing drums, which was like... He's usually doing like the sort of fast D beat sort of things. What the he's doing like 70s style stuff here. Is there any bands like that you like besides like death metal? Any bands like sort of like Lucifer, like the band Lucifer, or do you listen to any other genres of metal besides death metal?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So you see, you're wearing Paradise Lost, which are a great band. Rob, who are you wearing?
I'm wearing Skeletal, who we supported, was it last November?
It was on my birthday.
That was it, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was on Will's birthday.
That was proper, like...
This band is unbelievable. This band is French, is it?
Yeah, French, yeah.
This band is unbelievable. It's proper old school death metal, really cavernous and deep and growly. Like,
Skeletal, Paradise Lost. Well, who you wearing at the moment? So people know.
This is Lichgate. Kind of should not really promote it. I mean, I play for the band, but
for people who don't know,
I am a big fan of the music as well. It's more black metal.
Yeah, I like black metal.
I'd say, to be honest, I actually don't listen to that much death metal. I'm more listen to, like I got really into prog. That was the thing that really got.
I like a bit of prog. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah, so I mean, Opeth is my favourite band. I think they just for that reason.
Yeah, I mentioned them on a CD collection video I didn't do.
Yeah, unbelievable band. But I mean, just bands that kind of don't just do one thing. So that's why I like playing with Lichgate, because it's not just pure. Like there's black metal.
Didn't you play live drums for a band? Was it them?
Yes, it's Lichgate.
I thought it was. Because people that know Will, as well as Will playing for Body Harvest and those Holocaustum, he played with the band on his T-shirt, which I was like, oh, I should go. Can't get there. Damn it. And of course, K-lum is wearing Decapitated.
Yeah. Gotta love Decapitated. No, and they've taken all of the old stuff.
Yeah,
they've taken all the old stuff off.
And liability. was a great album.
Yeah, they've only got like 2 albums on Spotify now, I think. But I mean,
Yeah.
I only just got
the CD
Spotify
anyway,
recently.
it doesn't matter, but
I only got Spotify
Yeah.
recently, and I saw your album, and it was like, love it.
Yeah.
Keep going back to the album, folks.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they haven't got them on there. It's all the old lineup, you know, before the.
I think it's something to do with Earache. Because Earache took a bunch of shit off Spotify. I think maybe it's
okay.
Yeah, I know some
kind of-
Carcass ones that disappeared.
kind of deal with Spotify, and they maybe don't like Spotify, so they don't use it.
Yeah. Actually, the only one that I think of Carcass that's still on there is Surgical Steel.
Yeah.
That's all they got.
I just really wanted to listen to
Label
Paroxysm the
and
other day, and then just found it wasn't on there. I was like,
Yeah.
when you really want to listen to it as well.
Yeah, because with the things like Spotify now, do you think that's a big help for bands for more people
Yes,
to
it's
listen
no.
to?
I mean,
I don't think it
It's
is.
good for the fans.
For the fans, if
It's
they
good
were
for
like,
the fans in terms of
I
being
mean, I
able to
must have
find.
had it for about
I mean-
10 years now. So
I mean,
it's,
like if they can't I know they can get all of your CDs and that, but if they can,
Mm.
I think it's
that's the
helpful.
best way of finding you.
it always makes you look better if you've got Spotify. Like if you, I mean, even though it's
Herbicidal's got
difficult
Spotify.
to- yeah, if you know, I think DistroKid is about $20 a year, and then you can just
Yeah,
upload.
that's where you can.
It always
find
looks
out.
nice.
That's where you can find out where our stuff is. DistroKid.
Yeah,
It's a really good, like service DistroKid. It just chucks your shit everywhere, plasters it all over the internet.
Yeah, because we're like
all the Russian torrent sites and everything like that. which we seem to-
Spotify, iTunes, and it also puts Apple Music, which is basically
Yeah.
the thing.
I
And
think
we're on Deezer as well, of all places.
Yeah, I don't even know anyone who uses that, but just tick
I
the
haven't
box.
used Deezer. I only used it once to listen to some.
I think the modern, all the streaming services, they are good for people finding new music, which then obviously is good for the bands, the smaller bands.
Especially if you can get on curated playlists and things like that. That's a good way of doing it.
Well, the amount of bands me and Claire have found through Spotify are artists you may like and stuff, and our music tastes have changed a lot since finding Spotify, really. It's good in that term, but then you got to trust that people will then go and support the band, because obviously bands make nothing from Spotify.
Yeah. There's a difference between streaming the music and actually like buying into the band, isn't it? Like if you actually want to go and buy the t-shirts and the CDs, it's like kind of separated music fans into two sort of bits now. It's like, I can listen to Spotify.
I like actually buying merch. I actually like buying the t-shirts and the CDs and
of course,
patches or pins or whatever they have on sales. Like, what do you have? No, we've got a few t-shirts left.
That's the good thing.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to buy something as well.
Yeah.
If you've seen it.
I'll buy your first demo if you got on CD. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll do like.
I think the thing with the Spotify,
dig some out. Come on, we can make some money.
Get some money. It's like putting your demos out. I was like, we don't want to. Why? Because they sound awful.
I mean, speaking of demos, actually, like we were talking earlier about the ones on Spotify, like that Will first listened to when he joined. It's like one day I would actually like to release that. Obviously, they're kind of, I know John.
I think no.
On like a tape or something.
You a big
like
fat new.
Not as a major release, but I think it would be an interesting.
Not major release.
Kind of throwback.
Most people don't have a tape player these days, so chances are no one's going to hear
it.
it.
Would just, we
can all just bank on that.
Because people listen to the new album and they're like, "Oh, is there anything that you did before that?" And then there's the demo stuff. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to me, it's interesting to hear how the kind of songs have changed as well. Like since I had no input into actually writing them as well, like hearing the very early versions of them as to how they appear on the full album. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Can be interesting.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to hear those demo stuff, because a lot of people like going back to the old school bands. They had demos, and you can rarely find those unless someone puts them on digitally puts them on YouTube, and then you find them that way. Because there's a YouTuber named Ken's Death Metal Crypt, and something just fell. And he puts a lot of American death metal bands on there, like old demos and stuff, and thinking, well, that's pretty good. And well, this is probably a bit of an odd question to ask. Where do you see this band going in, like, I don't know, 5 years?
That's a good question, really. I always like to kind of look ahead, like where do I want to be?
Where do you want to see this band in 5 years?
But I would like to think there will
doing?
be a few more releases and hopefully striving for better and better in terms of production and like better sound, better songs.
Distribution, hopefully be signed, I guess. And,
more ambitious, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think just things like that. I think we're actually
major festivals really would be a great one.
Yeah, we need to get you guys on festivals as well. Yeah.
We've tried to kind of go for as many kind of little, like smaller indoor festivals as we can at the moment. We're kind of starting to get some pretty decent interest from them as well. But I think, the next step would definitely be kind of, outdoors and main stages and things like that. I mean, it's very early, but that would be the dream, definitely.
You just got in big. That's the thing, you got in big. That's what I'm doing with Herbicide. But we'll see where that goes. My other band, Aventell. That's what we want to do. We want to aim big, like play outdoor festivals and obviously do gigs, like indoor gigs and stuff. I think that's every single band's like ambition. We want to play bigger gigs. We want to play outdoor festivals. We want this, that, and the other. And there are bands who are like, oh yeah, I do. Like, oh yeah, we got money for this. It's like, for me, it's all about playing the music. Is it that for you guys? Just playing the music because you love the music?
Oh, definitely. I think like, you can say like, oh, we want to be here in kind of like so many years, but at the end of it, it's like, if that happens, awesome. If not, we'll still be doing it anyway. Like,
Yeah,
I think, it's hard to plan a band. You can't ever say where it's going to go. We just play it by ear and hope that people enjoy what we do.
That's the main thing.
Continue enjoying it, then
as long as they're enjoying what you're doing, then
exactly. Then
that's a great.
The only person you've got to disappoint is yourself. Then
that's a great feeling because like I've said to you guys as well, like, I really love the music, I love the album, blah blah blah. I'm repeating myself like a freaking recorder now. Like, I love the album, love the album.
Well, I think every band in 5 years' time, most of the bands change in a way. Like the evolution of the bands. If all the bands kind of follow the same pattern, most of them end up actually either compromising the sound into something softer and maybe a bit more sophisticated or experimental, or just straight away changing. I would like to think the Holocaustum will be able to remain as loyal as possible to the roots of the baseline followers, and at the same time growing into better songs, like delivering better music, but without necessarily changing that much.
Better than different,
It's still delivering something that is interesting and is exciting without boring people of their tits, without the same over and over. But
great, it's the same album again. Great guys too.
Like changing, but delivering something that's still loyal to the death metal roots. Like that is still old school death metal. I guess that's our main goal.
I prefer the old school death metal sound anyway, because it's more me. And we all know Simon Can. We do. Our mate Simon Can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
He will detest. He will agree that you're like the metal brethren of old school death metal. I mean, like the Scandinavian lot is like, that, but also the British death metal and also American bands as well. Him, he's more on the gore grind side, and you just get all those.
I do love death grind. It's a lot of fun.
You get all those people that know the various different types of metal. Like they got their special like genre. They know so much about what.
I love people like Simon who kind of like have such a genuine passion for it as well, and yourself as well.
It's just like a general passion for.
Actually, Simon can I just say, Simon, I have to give him the credit of being one of the first person interested in this project. I met Simon, I would say 2 or 3 years before I even met the first musicians that actually joined this Holocaustum, and he was so into the project and excited about the idea that he even proposed at some point, why don't you, just for the sake of becoming known and getting some exposure, just go into a sort of one-man band. And it wasn't really my thing. I didn't really feel the idea of going on the stage myself.
It works for some people, but
I have to give Simon the credit of believing in this project from the get-go, even before there was even anybody involved other than myself recording from home. So yeah, Simon, legend.
Yeah. So for anyone on YouTube who doesn't know who that is a good friend of ours from the Bristol metal scene. He calls himself Metal Brethren. We call him that anyway. And I've been to his house a couple of times, and maybe more than that. And I've seen his CD collection. He's just got tons.
His CD collection. I've never seen it, but even just by the sounds of it, it's
I've
like
seen it.
every night it's like, oh, I got 20 more. I got 20 more, and it's just he must have thousands.
I can't go any further than this because on this side of my wall is my TV, which obviously
Kind of metal library.
Yeah. I got like maybe half of what he's got. Because two CDs showed up today from CDM Records in Canada. An old school death metal band called Grotesque Infection.
Oh yeah.
I know they're not going anymore, but they got 2 demos out, and Cam, who I mentioned earlier, filmed a show back in '93 at Niagara Falls Death Fest, which I never heard of until I saw that. I was like, Niagara Falls Death Fest? What, by the falls? They're going to die. You know? And Cranium, Norwegian slam band. Well, Norwegian / English / other countries.
Oh, Cranium, yeah.
Cranium, or Cranium. People say it differently. No, it's Cranium. No, Cranium.
With a K and 2 A's.
2 A's, Cranium.
Yeah, that's it.
If you say it differently, I'll be like, yeah, I know you'll know.
There must be so many bands with the same name, but just spelled differently.
Like, if someone said your name differently, I'm like, who? I was like, oh, this band, yeah.
Well, they take Dies for a start, like that's the one that we usually get. It's actually DS, but like no one gets it right anyway. So it's like, I just make sure to say it on stage very clearly.
There were times where I was like, I want to say Dies, but I don't think that's even.
Yeah, I'm never going to like correct anyone and be a dick about it or anything. But it's just like, yes, we have DS.
We do have quite. It's not like an easy. It's not really the most straightforward name to pronounce. So,
yeah, I mean it's recognisable.
And people see the logo as like, yeah, this is a death metal band.
Yeah.
I think you ever find that with like certain bands that got logos, you think, okay, that's a death metal band because of how that looks. Then you go with thrash metal, that's how that looks.
Absolutely.
Like with heavy metal bands, they got like a logo you can just read properly. It's like, oh no, yeah, that's a heavy metal band. Get thrash, it's like, oh yeah, I can still read it. Get the death metal, and the various genres of death metal. You find some logos and you can't read them at all.
If you can't read it, it's probably slam or like
probably slam or some form of gore grind.
Black metal,
like brutal death gore grind or something. It's like brutal death gore grind or whatever. If you can't read it, at least with you guys, there's someone looked at it like, oh, I won't be able to read this, will I? Yes, you can.
Because we did have a previous logo actually. The one that we've got now wasn't our original.
No.
I dug it out the other day. I found it in like an old folder.
Yeah, I did one, which is quite cringy actually, but it was.
I actually quite like it. I don't think it's as good as the.
It was a case of not having anything, you know. It was desperation, just desperation. You know, when you have nothing and from scratch, you start doing things yourself. And obviously, I'm not an artist, so I cannot compare myself with Aitor and this guy from London. Actually a countryman from Tenerife, and he plays in the Brood grindcore band from London. And he's an artist, he's a tattooist, and he did it for us. And it took me like a whole bloody hour to do something horrendous and pathetic in minutes. He did something unbelievable. Hey, what do you think about this? And I just sent it to the lads on the chat, and everybody was like, "Oh bloody hell, yeah, yes."
I couldn't do it. I'll just play this.
He sent it over, and we all straight away just like, that's the logo.
Because before I saw it as well, I was like, our logo's all right. You know, pretty much sums up what we do. I quite liked it and everything. And then as soon as I saw that one, I think that there might have been a few more revisions before that by different artists.
We had one. We had the guy I was contacting. He did a logo for us, which I mean, it just wasn't good. So.
It wasn't us. I mean, like you never know, though, do you? I mean, you know, anyone that does something for you like that, the reason they are an artist is because they kind of come up with something that you can't. So, like, you know, or they're going to execute something that you can't yourself. And so it's nice to be surprised by that when someone comes up with a thing. Actually, like, I didn't even know I wanted that, but it's perfect.
No. Like, you see that, it's like, I don't think I wanted this, but okay. Oh, no. Who's the one that did the artwork for the album? I don't know if I asked before.
Roberto Toderico.
Oh, right, yeah, it's really good artwork. It's brilliant.
Yeah, we got really lucky with him. Like, it was surprising. I'm not going to say how much it was because, you know, like, but
Oh, no, don't go into that.
it was
and would
surprisingly
you have
reasonable when it came back. And because I think John was sending out kind of emails to various kind of, you know, artists.
Yeah, I was kind of artist hunting, and I sent a lot of emails to a lot of people, and surprisingly, a lot of people came back to me, and the quotes were soaring on the minimum you will pay for something reasonably decent. I would say it was like from 800 onwards, soaring above 1,000 in some cases. So I was fairly surprised to find that this guy was actually so reasonable and affordable, especially because he's got a pretty respectable experience with big bands, the likes of Pestilence, Vomitory, Tigers of Pangtan.
Yeah.
His willingness to work with us for so little and so close to the project, like listening from us, sending ideas, back and forth, kind of going over the sketches and outlining what we wanted. It was really easy to work with him.
Yeah, would you use him again?
I would personally.
It's subject to discussion.
Yeah, well, if he liked his artwork when he did the act for this one, maybe like most bands would just stick with the same artist. Like with Cannibal Corpse, they always use Vincent Locke. And the funny thing about that is they never met him, which is funny. You never met him in person when he was doing all his artwork. It was like, oh yeah, he does great artwork. What's he look like? I don't know, a rotten corpse.
Vincent Locke.
He's a Locke. You just put a key in him and he's just like, hello, my name's Vincent.
I think we're discussing things like artwork at the moment. I'm leaning very much towards a guy called Dan Seagrave. He's just done.
Yeah, Dan Seagrave. I was going to mention him.
Amazing covers. But it depends on the subject matter of what we want to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
come up with the idea.
Imagine you
choose the right artist for it.
Yeah, I can imagine you getting something done by him, but then he'll probably ask like a certain amount of money, and it'd be like too much, I guess. I don't know how much he quotes.
Well, potentially. I mean,
I don't know how much he quotes.
It does depend on the cost, I guess. But I mean, I think there's some smaller bands like Separation used them, and also another band, I think they're from Exeter, called Reprisal. Also used Dan Seagrave. So I mean, I imagine he's kind of reasonable, but obviously we've had no communications.
Yeah. It's just finding those artists who are like, oh, cool, I actually like this. Do you have a title for the album? Yeah, here's the title. Fit something around that. Okay. And it's like, for example, let's get Effigy of the Forgotten by Suffocation. They probably told them the album title was like, what can you do with that? And all of a sudden, you just got this weird, like, post-apocalyptic machine ripping some human apart.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, kind of, if you're going to an artist or something like that, it'd be like going to a musician, like, write me a song. Like, oh, well, you know, a song for me.
What sort of song?
So
that's the thing, like, what sort of song would you want me to write? It's like, write me a song. Right, what do you want me to write?
I always think it's a lot more helpful to kind of, like, go to an artist with, like, okay, I want exactly this, but I can't do it. But, you know, this is my sort of vision if you want any
but
kind
I
of...
guess some bands don't worry that much. Some bands are a bit more open-minded to be surprised, like, just send me anything. This is the title, this is the song, this is the album. What do you think? Just whatever. I'll be happy with whatever you do for us. Especially coming from somebody like Dan Seagrave or Wes Ben Scott, like a big artist. But I think the Holocaustum works more around certain concept ideas. So I tend to think we will go to something a bit more solid before going to the artist. There will be an idea kind of set in stone, and from that,
because you need to
contact the artist and say, what can you do on those grounds? Rather than just randomly saying, hey, this is the title, do whatever the fuck you want. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, because you need to find that artist that gets your concept as well.
Because there's quite a strong sort of visual and sort of themes.
They'll hear the concept and they'll probably just ignore it. And then artists like that is like, if you had an artist and they didn't the album like concept for a different album and they did the artwork, it's like, oh, this ain't what we want. It's like, okay, what do you want? We just told you what we wanted. It's like sort of
exactly.
Stupid, wasn't it? It's if I did that in a band, I'm like, oh, like this is the name of the album. That's the concept.
Yeah.
Basically, down what I wanted it and fit it around that.
Yeah, you want what you want, but then you don't want to waste the artist's time at the same time as well.
No, you don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not knowing them not. If you don't give them enough of a picture of what you want, then they could come back with something completely.
And they will have spent hours on that as well, so it's not fair to them, really.
And if they say no, nothing like that, then okay, well, that's so many hours in the bin, you know. Or you know,
away that's not what I wanted. You know, it's like, what are you doing? Like, so for all my viewers for my YouTube channel, where can people find your album?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, thanks to DistroKid. Sponsor us, guys.
DistroKid.
No, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook group is where we kind of like keep most of track of everything. So like any kind of, you know, that's our community, I guess you could call it. But
obviously Bandcamp
as well, yeah, for merch as well, especially.
Get CD on there. Most bands are doing digital releases as well. Which
We've got digital and we've got some physical releases of Scotch Promised Land left as well. So this is they're running out. But
the show.
Yeah.
Obviously on the again. Well, we still have a limited run of CDs, so
If
people like it enough, then they can come pick it up.
Because there are people that want to buy CDs. They don't want to do I'll just digitally download it. There are people who are like old school, like, I'm going to buy a CD.
Yeah.
Cool, you're putting money in their pockets and then they can get more CDs done or whatever, or more t-shirts done.
No, it all helps as well.
Pins, whatever, stickers. You know, you just give them out free. Here's a free sticker.
It's what keeps you going at the end of the day. I mean, you know, you could say like it's not about money or anything like that, but it helps.
It's not really about money. It's not for us anyway. It's just like we love playing the music. We get money for it. It's like cool. We got enough. Going out, like,
we want to do more things for people as well, especially people who listen to us. We want to kind of, we want to do cooler merch and we want to do more CDs and kind of stuff like that. So
that's the thing. That's what we want.
All the money
the Holocaustum shirt.
Yeah, we just want to reinvest into what we're doing now, really, and just kind of get the most we possibly can out of it.
Get out what you can. Before we end this whole random but very exciting chat, well, just want to say thank you for taking the time to chat to me. You could have just said, nah, I'm going to watch something. I'm just going to be like, nah, I'll just sit in the garden.
No, we haven't seen you in a while anyway.
Yeah, but no, this is what I mean. I thought I got to keep in contact with my mates. And those across the seas, like, again, I'm going to mention Gregor not Gregor McIntosh from Paradise Lost, but the other Gregor. And there's more live streams to come. Bored. Watch me make an ass of myself. And before I go as well, K-lum, what's going on with Voluntas? Is any more stuff going on there?
Yeah, we got some new stuff coming. We've been writing like crazy.
That's good then.
We got an album on the way, basically.
Look, I'll just buy everything.
We're gonna have to leave a few tracks out of it, so
I'll buy everything for you guys. I was like, it's on a custom shirt and album, get it. New Body Harvest, get it. Vintas, get it. Anything going on with Body Harvest, Will?
I can't really disclose anything at the moment.
Well, you saying that is more than enough to say there is stuff going on, but you can't say anything.
There we go.
There you go. So if people want to know anything from Body Harvest, check out their Facebook. Same with Voluntas. There's Holocaustum. Thank you, Rob, Will, John, K-lum, for taking the time to talk to me. And have a good evening. And it's still rather daylight out.
Just about.
Just enjoy the rest of your evening until you either go to bed drunk or not.
Thank you, Jake.
See you later. Thank you very much.
See you, man.
Thank you, man.
Cheers.
Take care, man.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Leave when you can. Just gonna give him a wave. Well, that's the end of that chat and that Jake's Metal chat on here. Hope you enjoyed it, people. I know it's with my show is a bit more like you chat about metal and you're going to chat about things that influence you in metal and other things like that and what's going on in the world at the moment. We all can't. Let me just chill out. We all can't meet up at the moment. So, again, thank you for checking out this chat. Thank you for checking out my live stream chat, which will be uploading as soon as I've done this. And there'll be more to come. So thank you very much for tuning in. Stay safe, keep well, keep in contact with your friends and family, keep supporting the essential workers, and just keep active. Cheers.